Hello, welcome to the energy forecast for the week of 26th of September through 2nd of October for 2022. We are going to be doing this through a collective higher self reading and guidance, and often just to give you a scope, an overview of what normally comes up in these readings. It's all about the energy umbrella that we are all under and how it affects us and how we can better use it to our advantage. But before we dive in, can you tell me, am I audible? Can you hear me? Can you drop me in the chat box letting me know? Can you all hear me? If not, I might need to adjust something. Okay, let's continue. So I'm just going to connect here to our collective energy and let's have a look at what our higher self has to say. I'm picking up on some sensations of I can't move on, I can't do this. So it overall feels a very it's a down part of our emotional wave kind of energy and vibration. It feels like we are going to go through a moment where we're not very optimistic. But the idea here is that no matter what happens around us, we got to keep connecting to what makes us excited, what keeps us motivated. How do we keep moving forward? The idea is that we understand more clearly what drives us, what excites us. And so the overall energy that we're going to be under, besides making us feel a little bit more down, it's almost as if there's an invitation there to figure out, okay, so what excites you? What motivates you? I have a sensation that this week it's going to be all about you and not so much about all the other stuff that you have to do. It doesn't feel like a very productive week, to be honest with you. It feels more of a contemplation, inner perception, thoughtful kind of week. Um, it opens up the door for so much that can happen internally when we connect to ourselves. But it's a bit of a quest, an internal quest for, okay, what drives me? And you might need to have a look at things that you used to do as a child, because often children, they have less filter, so they know better what they like, what they don't like, what their purpose is. They're very clear in their intentions and their likes and dislikes because they are not filtering things through. So think back to your childhood. What were the things you liked to do? What were the perspectives you had on life? How did you wake up in the morning? What was your ideas, your mindset? Let's call it like that. Of course, as a child, you don't really think in terms of mindset, but now we can relate back to that word. Um, what made you excited? Was it getting together with your friends? Well, then maybe you need to get together with your friends this week. Um, what did you think about work while growing up? Did you grow up to work on the thing you said you wanted to? Or are you like way far off compared to that? Just contemplate a little bit of these things. Maybe you wanted to be a firefighter and now you're a doctor. Maybe you understood that your dreams changed, but maybe being a doctor isn't really what excites you. Okay. Have the openness, have the availability to truly look within and understand what you feel about it, no matter what it is. Often, when we look inside, we don't really love what we're going to find, but that's okay. We need to be open to see it. We need to be open to feel it, to receive it, because that's the only way that we can start changing it. Okay. So, the very first step we got to do in order to start shifting our lives is to truly accept how we feel, even if that means that we think we did an awesome choice, but when we really check in with ourselves, we have to admit that maybe we didn't. And that's okay. That's part of being human, that's part of growth. Just reading through the comments here. I'm fine. How are you? Um, I'm doing better. Thank you for checking in. Um, how are you all doing? Let me know in the comments if this is an energy or if this is a feeling you already started to pick up on in the last few days, or if it hasn't kicked in just yet, because it can happen that some of you start to live out this energy a couple of days before it actually sets in. So let me know. Have you been feeling down? Have you been feeling motivated? How has it been? Let me know in the comment section. And if you're watching the replay, drop me a hashtag replay and let me know, and I'll come back and answer you. So I see the comment here, I'm not good. Okay, so I'm very sorry for that. Is it because you're starting to feel this energy, like your mood is going down and all the things that I was just mentioning? You see, guys, when we are going through some struggles, we just have to understand the real reasons why. And the real reasons why are never to punish you, to force you, to make you change into something you're not and that you don't like. It's never about that. Okay. It's always about showing you who you are and who you want to be. It's about giving you that clarity. And when we take life with this bit of detachment and we start asking, what could life possibly be trying to show me through what is happening? Then your perception shifts. The way you deal with problems shift. Okay. The way you take actions, the way you make decisions, it changes. And all of these changes ultimately lead to a different type of future. And that's why it's so important to be in the present moment right now. So let me just check back in the comments. Love problem. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope it turns out better than what you expect. Another comment, I felt that some days ago my body is needing to rest, but a lot of motivation for this new chapter with acting. Oh, that's so exciting. Some of us actually start picking up on the energy before others, and some of us are able to move through it better or faster, let's call it like that, depending on how much you understand the real reason why and you work on it, right? So the energy is going to be supporting these idea contemplations on what drives me, what excites me, what motivates me. And it's not just the career, it's not just the love, it's not just the relationship. Okay, it's really, why are you here on earth? What's your mission? Let's put it like that. I know missions are very complicated. They are multi-step process and stages and different projects and all that. But what do you stand for? Okay. I'm here, I'm seeing the comment here. I feel very depressed. And that is exactly why I'm saying you need to connect with what drives you. That's your inner flame, your inner spark, that drive, that motivation. But it also means you got to take your power back. You cannot put your power on the hands of somebody else, right? You can't. I mean, you can, obviously, we can everything. When I say you can't, what I mean is that's probably not the best option in accordance to what you're desiring to manifest for your life. Um, but when we are trying to live our best life, which by the way, it's the thing we're all here meant to be doing, if you put your personal power in somebody else's hands or circumstances, you're bound to feel disappointed or depressed or sad. So you got to take that power back. You can't feel happy because you got the love you expected, right? What if that never happens? Does that mean you're never feeling happy? How about you decide just to be happy all the time, no matter what happens around you? It's an inner decision, right? And in figuring out what really drives you, what really motivates you, what's the mission that you want to have in this life? You probably already resonate with it. It's just at the back of your minds because you haven't really been feeling or thinking that it could be an actual possibility. Some of us tend to think our dream lives are just a dream, that we're not supposed to take action on them. They are just these ideas that we have about the world and how we wish the world to be, but they're so far off that we don't take action. It's like putting a bucket of water in your inner flame. It so slowly starts to extinguish it. And our job is to reignite them. This week, our job is to reignite them. So, what's the mission? What's your highest purpose? I often tell my clients, what is the one thing that you wish did not exist in the world, or you wish you could change the way that it exists in the world? That's usually the way that you discover what your deeper purpose is. Okay. Also, have a look at your gene keys. There's some information in there in your gene keys about purpose. Hi, hello, welcome, welcome. We're doing a bit of a brainstorm here on the energy that's popping in for us this week. Another comment. Lately, I have done a practice to check up with my body if that decision is the highest alignment. And I felt that flame in the solar plexus and heart. I know. Yes. Yes. Another tip for you guys: decide with the feelings in your body, with your authority, and for that, check human design. Do not decide with your minds. Your minds know nothing. They are just a tool, but they shouldn't be making all the decisions. Your body should. Your mind should give you ideas. Your body should decide which one to go for. Okay. Right. So if you guys know, drop me a comment. Do you know what is the driving force for you? What's the thing you're really looking or you really wish you could change in the world? And how would you wish that that would change into? So, for example, would you wish that, I'm just giving you some ideas, would you wish that somebody or the whole entire world would understand that it's important to recycle? Would you love that everybody has the awareness that we should all be treated equally, no matter race, gender, and so on? Is your deeper wish the thing that really fires you up, that everybody or every country should be have access to healthcare? And what is it? I'm sorry. A second. You know how it is, guys. My dog likes to participate in these things, so sometimes she will just pop in the video. Sometimes she decides to make a little bit of noise to make herself seen. um, so, do you know? Let me know in the chat box. Do you know what drives you? Do you know what's your highest mission, your highest purpose? Okay. It's usually a thing that drives you a little bit mad when you see out there. It triggers you, and it triggers you very much. Um, what fires me up is to show, live, feel as all for love. Okay, I get it. I get it. I love that. Love should be our driving force, shouldn't it? I can share with you my own. Maybe that will inspire you. Maybe that will motivate you. Maybe that will give you a different perspective on it. For me, I get so upset when I see people not staying in their own lane, not attending their own needs, not attending their own self, not working on themselves, and instead just projecting that onto other people and making relationships in life so much harder for everybody else. So instead of focusing on their own and fixing within what they don't like, they just project that to others. And then we all create these dysfunctional relationships. And all of this is just because we don't know how energy works. We don't know these shortcuts. We don't know what's the best way to interact with people. We can't read between the lines. And all of this is just something that really triggers me, and that I really wish we would all just know how energy works. We would all just understand how we have to show up for each other, right? So that's my driving force. That's the change, that's the impact I want to create in the world. Maybe I won't be able to reach the entire world, but maybe if I just reach a few, if I just plant some seeds over there, over time they can grow. And that drives me. Okay. So I just have a comment here. I don't like when we get lost in our minds, keeping us away from the present moment. That's very interesting. So, how could you help others do that? At the end of the day, we all love to serve. We all love to give what we wish we had. Um, and if we know something that we feel can really truly help the world, we will always feel compelled to share that in some way, whether that's through a trigger in a conversation. Then we just have to say what we know and what we've learned, right? Who here has experienced that? We just can't hold ourselves back. Um, Maybe for some of us is to show the world that we should all be about love, and for others it's to show the world we should always be present instead of flying away in our thoughts and not and completely escaping what's standing in front of us, right? But if that's your driving force, remind yourself of it, and remind yourself of what comes with it. So in which ways could you potentially show that life is all about love? How can you show that to your friends, to your family? How can you show that to every people that you interact with, every person that you interact with? How can you show that up at work? Or if you cannot, maybe there's a better version of work and career for you that you'd appreciate more because it would allow you to do that. But at the end of the day, this mission is something we are doing constantly and we forget about it, or we don't see it, or we don't pay attention to it, and our inner flame goes away. And this week, it really is the time to ignite that fire. How do you do that? First, you identify it, and second, you go after it. And as I always suggest, go after it in the areas where it's easier. Okay, start with the easier parts and then escalate that into degrees of difficulty, let's put it like that, because your subconscious, if you just go for the most challenging thing, for some of us, we can do that, we can take that leap, but there's so much resistance within because it's unknown, it's different, it's difficult, it holds us back for a while until we can take that leap. And so starting with things that are closer, a bit more familiar, still a little out of our comfort zone, but a bit more familiar, our subconscious will offer less resistance in those areas, and then we can just keep on building up from there, right? So maybe start showing love, and start showing people how to be mindfully present with the friends that you have around you, with people you talk every day. Then start asking yourself, you're going to have a week to figure this out, possibly more, there's always more tries, but the energy really is supporting it this week. Which other ways could you show that to people? Could you build a course? Could you make a play? Could you show up live and talk about that topic? Like, how can you implement this in so many different ways? Because the more you take action on that particular thing, the more your inner fire is going to ignite. The more that fire that ignites, the happier you're going to get. The happier you get, the more you stay in your lane, the more you want to be good and better for others, the more you want to serve and be served. So your whole energy, your whole aura starts to open up to a whole field of possibility, because then your mindset, your perspective is on fulfillment, on purpose, on positive impact and change and transformation. The way that you show up, the way that your energy is going to speak to the world, it's going to be completely different. Okay. So figure out as much as you can. Brainstorm. I'm a very big fan of sit down with pen and paper and bring that information out. Sometimes we have a lot of information within. It doesn't come out unless you sit down, you allocate the time, you sit down and you start brainstorming, writing it down, whatever comes to your mind, just write it down. And at the end of the page, you're going to be able to reach some conclusions there. Maybe some of the ideas that are going to come up, your body's going to say, no, I don't, this is not it. Okay. But keep that list, because maybe that's not it right now, but it doesn't mean that's not going to be a good idea in a month or in 2 months. This is not something, a purpose is not something that we do one, two times, and it's done and dusted. It's not like that. This is like a lifelong mission. This is what we stand for. This is what our deepest desire wishes to accomplish in the world. And so driving that inner flame home, it's like feeling like yourself all the time. Who here has gone through the experience where I totally feel like myself and I totally don't feel like myself. I have, and my personal experience tells me it's awful when we don't feel like ourselves. Okay. And the best feeling in the world is feeling like yourself. You feel like you're home. You came home to yourself. And that is the greatest gift ever. So, taking action on your purpose, on these little things that ignite you, are also a way to feel like you're home, like you're comfortable in your skin, like you are centered and stable. It ignites also your core stability, meaning you are centered here, life is floating around. Sometimes there's like turbulence and tornadoes and confusion. However, you stand your ground like a very old tree that has really healthy roots. Yeah. So gaining that core stability is all about being the real you. And if you haven't seen that yet, that's what I'm all about. Be the real you. Um, I'm just here reading some comments here. Home frequency. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And nothing can shake you away from that frequency. Notice that when you are in those moments where you feel so grounded within, you're so okay that you know who you are and what you need and what your wants are and what your goals are and what your mission is. And you just keep taking baby steps towards that. Notice how it doesn't matter what happens around you, just doesn't matter because you know that you have your own back. And no matter what happens, you're going to get yourself out of it. It builds up this level of um, self assurance, self confidence, and it makes you undefeatable. I like to put it like that, undefeatable. Because if you just have a positive outlook, if you just trust yourself to go after what you want and need, things will always be okay for you. Um, so really dig within. It's a week to dig within. Don't get overly concerned about all the things that you have to do. Although I have to say, I'm having the feeling that energy will be moving along. It's not like your lives are going to stagnate. There will be nothing to do. It's not like that. But there's always, every day, there's going to be that need to look within and reassess things and reassess um, what is your driving force. Are you acting on it or not? Okay. Take some ideas down on that paper, start implementing them as much as you can, because that will ignite your fire faster. The faster you're fired up, the better you're going to feel. And here's the thing, the more you work on this, because this is what the energy is supporting, the faster you get to the next, let's call it mission. Like this is a video game, right? So you graduate on one of the levels of the video game, and then you just move on to the next one. So you can literally accelerate your journey by understanding what you're supposed to be doing this week and then keeping on doing it. So every day, check in with yourselves, make a list, and start acting on that list. This may not seem like it is a lot, but trust me, it will give you a lot to think about. It will give you a lot to do. Okay. And you will, well, I'm just picking up on something else here. It's like I see you interacting with the world and with people and having a bit of this detachment. It's like you're the observer of the circumstance. So I feel you guys are going to be either consciously doing this or unconsciously just feeling detached from whoever you are interacting with. If this is something that is happening naturally, avoid the tendency to think, "What's wrong with me? I'm being so different. This is not right for me." This is just the energy giving you the opportunity to look at things as an observer, telling you see things that you haven't seen before in this type of interaction. Notice things you haven't noticed before. Okay, so instead of getting caught up in just trying to be very, very, very connected, if you feel a bit of detachment towards that, that's okay. Just do your observations. It's a great week for that. Just some comments here. Sometimes I do in meditations, visualizations, feeling all being in the highest power, and that flame frequency home ignites from within. Yes, we can tune into this through meditation, but we can keep that fire burning that high if for the greatest majority of time we are acting on that mission, not just thinking about it, not just knowing what it is, but literally taking action on it. um I was going to say something else which is now running away from me. uh by the way, guys, if you haven't seen, you guys can apply to get a rating on my podcast. I know some of you have applied already. Probably going to have to close down applications before the expected 5th of October because there's a lot of people applying. So let's see how that goes. But if you've been on the fence, it's a really good idea to just do it now and not wait until later. Okay, what I was going to say is, it came back to me. Our purpose, our mission is who we are meant to be. And if that is who you are meant to be at all times, just taking one action on that thing that ignites your fire during one day, it's really not enough, is it? Because you're being you 24 hours every day. So if you only take action on it for 1 hour, that means all the other 23, you are not being you. Okay. You got to start consciously understanding who you are and what you're here to do. Because in the world as it is, we've seen plenty that has happened in the last few years. We see what it's happening right now. And a part of that is because most of us are so disconnected from that vision, that dream, that purpose, that fire, that we don't know what we are meant to be creating over here. So we just start creating whatever. Okay. We need to understand what we're here to create and start creating that. Otherwise, we're going to be lost. And if we are so lost, we're going to start creating a reality we don't like, we don't want, we don't resonate with. Oh my God, here she goes again. I think she agrees with me. We all need to start taking action on our dream, vision, our purpose, because it is not tomorrow. Every minute that goes by that we do not take action on this is a minute that we are not being ourselves. We're wasting it. And then we all start complaining of how long it takes to manifest our dreams. Well, how about we start looking at ourselves at every minute? Are we embodying who we are meant to be right here, right now? Not in 5 minutes, not in 2 hours, not tomorrow, every step of the way. The more we do that, the more your frequency shifts and the more the universe draws to you the experiences that are right for you, your dream vision experiences. So when we think they are so far ahead, if we just take one baby step, the universe will take like 10 giant steps towards us. We don't have to worry about the how. We just need a baby step. We don't need the full path, but we got to start working on it. And if we keep asking at every moment of our day, how can I implement this? How can I make sure that I'm doing it, that I'm being it? This is what I stand for. This is my mission. That will drive your every action, your every thought, your everything. And therefore, you're being you. The majority of the time, you're resonating at that frequency the majority of the time. And that's how your dream visions come. So this week has such a great opportunity for all of us here to take giant steps towards what we really want to create in our lives. And if we do that, I wouldn't be surprised at all if those manifestations start to come along, because I don't see the energy being so slow, like I mentioned already. I do see it moving and things happening. There's no stagnation. Okay. So if you just keep doing this, I want to know, guys, even if you don't come back to YouTube to write it down there in the comments, if you're watching me, drop me a DM, send me an email, something. I want to know what happened to you guys during this week. If you keep doing this part of the work, I want to see what shows up for you, because it's going to be good. That's the feeling I get. And I think that's the greatest gift of all. And that is the highest note at which we can leave today's reading. I am finally moving countries this Sunday. Okay, yeah, definitely energy moving and you're getting there. That's so exciting. I wish you all the best. Send me pictures. I miss Ireland. Um, Okay, so guys, next week I'm going to be here again, same hour. Tomorrow I am going to be inside the Facebook group, same hour, and I'm going to do another reading over there. You all know that if you were guided to this reading is for you. If you are guided to tomorrow's reading, it is also for you. But if for some reason you miss out one of the readings that I'm doing, during the week. And if for some reason it doesn't come on your feed and you only watch it 10 weeks later, that's still okay. It will come to you at the right time. If you don't watch it, it's not for you. If you watch it, it's for you. So don't skip the homework because that's the thing that's going to help you so much more. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you next week. Bye.